Thank you very much, Anne. Well, there is an interruption which I have to clear. Thank you very much, Anne, and everyone on the call. Good morning. And good morning, diaspora. Good evening, diaspora. It's a blessing to be your speaker this morning. My name, like you've heard, is Grace Nyauncho. I've been here for the last 13 years. After working as a banker and an RN for a total of 25 years. I thank God that every day in my life, I feel blessed and excited. I didn't come from my personal story, but I want to say that I've experience of both worlds, the US and its challenges, and Kenya. I lived and worked in US for 10 years as an RN. I raised my family to adulthood in the US. And I can attest to each one on the call that the principle is the same, but every country has its own practice. And it is upon each one of us to know what is best for you so that you can practice it wherever you are, because the principle is the same. This morning and this evening, we want to share heart health. What is that? The heart is the machine that works from conception to death. In other words, the heart is one of the organs in the many organs that we have in the body when we talk of anatomy. And today we are going to dig deeper into the functions of that particular organ and why it is important to each one of us. Without the heart, you are declared dead. And for those of us who have done that medical field, if you suddenly stop to breathe, every sound-minded person will look for a medical doctor to confirm that the person has died. Why? The heart is a very important organ that you are declared dead when it stops beating. And that is the heart that I'm talking about. You can see that it is live. And from the picture, you can see that it is like a sack that is full of blood with horns. So the heart, as you can see, is at the center of your circulatory system. And every living thing has a heart. The network of blood vessels, that is, it delivers the blood to every part of the body through the arteries and the veins. Blood carries oxygen and other important nutrients to all organs of the body that need to stay healthy and work properly. So if you eat a very gorgeous meal today or balanced diet now, after digestion, it is sent to the bloodstream to be delivered to every part of the body according to its need. That is the reason we are advised to watch what we eat. Your heart is a muscle, a size of a fist. You can fold your fist, and its job is to pump blood throughout your circulatory system. I've just reflected a picture of the heart and how that small organ is a serious network. The blue bar is the blood that is coming from the body back to the heart, which has collected all the impurities, all the deoxygenated blood that is, gets into the heart through the vena cava right here, gets here to the right atrium, is pushed down through the valve to the right ventricle. And from the right ventricle, it is pumped through this valve to the pulmonary system, to the lungs. Why? To get oxygen. After it's oxygenated, the blood is pushed back to the heart, which means it is now oxygenated, gets into the left atrium through this valve. And from here, it goes out through the biggest artery, that is the aorta, with a lot of power to the rest of the body. When one feels tired, we have first to check how the heart is working. Because when you get deoxygenated blood throughout the body, that is blue, then you will feel tired all the time. But when this system, that is when the organ is working properly, you'll be vibrant for as long as you live. In an average person of 70 years, an average human being's heart beats about 2.5 billion times. And the circulatory system is the network of that elastic tubes that carry blood throughout the body and throughout life. So when we talk about pumping, you will see that it pumps about 3 super tankers throughout life. And remember, you cannot live if the heart is not beating. And the main reason we need to seriously take care of it. Of course, as we live as human beings, we have risks. Some we can avoid and some we cannot avoid. And that is the main reason why we need to take care of that important organ. Some of them that are known is the age. As you age, for example, I am 60 years, I'll be celebrating my 60th birthday on 25th of this month. And my heart, I know if I've not taken care of it this far, cannot function like when I was 20 years. So the older you get, the risk increases of how your arteries can be damaged or narrowed or weakened or thickened in the heart muscle, because the heart works independently. And another risk factor that you cannot change is the sex. For example, male are generally greater at risk than to get the heart disease than women. You can also not change the family history, but there are some risk factors that you can change. That is what you can do. Like people, they are not created smoking. So you can advise somebody, you can advise yourself to stop smoking, because it accelerates or it increases the risk of you getting heart problems, poor diet, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol levels, diabetes, and many more conditions. Those are risk factors. But how can you, today we are not talking about any disease, but we are talking about this particular organ. How can we take care of this health heart? The number one item that is very crucial is what you put in your mouth. I want you to make your hand in a form of a fork, like I've done mine, and start scooping that food. At the top of the fork, what you pick from your plate and put in your mouth has a lot to tell on how you are going to help this organ to function for the 70, 80, 90 years, because you can live as long as your body is healthy and supporting you. And more especially this organ. It's more important to identify what you pick from the plate than what you will be getting from the doctors to maintain your heart. Therefore, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, leguminous plants, and nuts are very essential to maintain that small organ called the heart. You can also cut down on salt meats like ham, bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and some salty foods like dried fish and many more. We can make a decision this morning to change and start living by maintaining that small organ called the heart. We can also use vinegar and other like caramazi juices to season our foods instead of high sodium sauces like soy sauce, fish sauce, ketchup. Wakenya mpo, chipo. Mkenya hawezi kula chips without ketchup. We can change that. We can also avoid the consumption of highly processed foods and canned foods. We can also replace sweetened snacks like donuts, cookies, and all the like tam-tam with fresh fruits and vegetables. And if you are thirsty, you can take water instead of sodas or other drinks that are harmful to our health. So eat a heart-healthy diet. That is the number one way of managing our small organ. Point number two, we need to manage our weight. Weight, you cannot look at me and say, I am obese, or I am overweight, or I'm underweight. When I'm talking about managing weight, it's either way. But when we talk about overweight, it's defined as a body mass index of 25 points and above. Those who are 18 to 24, that is an ideal weight, and that is where we all need to aim at. When we do weight management, we can work that out. Increase regular physical activity. When I'm talking about physical activity, let us do what is basically workable for me, where I am and the environment that I am in. For example, if you are a person who works a lot, yeah, you can organize yourself to make sure that at least you walk 30 minutes every day, a brisk walk without stopping, because that helps the blood to move faster and improve the heart muscle, because the heart muscle is like a balloon. So when it is pressured, it expands, and that is why you find those people who do sports, their blood pressure is very low most of the time. It's under 100, and their heartbeat beats like 50 per minute, when others beats like 100. And if you are an adult, you can focus on walking. And if you are like 70 plus, which I believe we are not here, you can do the home chores that helps your heart to beat, to be excited, so that you do not later on create a condition we call congestive heart failure, which the heart that is in sedentary lifestyle accumulates fluids in the right side of the heart, which impairs circulation and eventually affects your well-being. And in the long run, it leads to early death. We don't need to use tobacco. It is very harmful if we want to maintain our health. And if you stop smoking today, in 15 years, you will reverse your heart health to any normal person that has never smoked. That is the good news. And if you stop smoking, you can live 10 years longer. We can also avoid alcohol, because alcohol consumption is linked to more than 200 diseases, including the heart diseases. So there is no safe level for drinking alcohol. And I want to encourage each one of us that every year, have your medical and physical checkup, because it's important. And when you go there, the number 6 will apply. You will have your blood pressure checked. They will have your blood sugar checked. They will have your blood cholesterol checked. And they will even check your weight and sit together with you and guide you. Another important point is that we need to manage stress. Stress is linked to so many issues in life, and more especially our hearts. When the body is on a high flight mode continuously, one of the organs that is affected most is the heart. And that is what mostly brings these issues of plaques building and the narrowing of arteries, which brings blood pressure, and if not managed, can lead to heart attack, can lead to stroke, and you can see the roller coaster where it is ending. At the same time, we need to practice good hygiene, and more especially good dental hygiene. Like when you have had a meal, especially once a day, you need to floss between your teeth. And for those who have care, you can use a mixed one, 1 to 50. You put 1 drop in the last rinse of your mouth of water, and you rinse your mouth. It's good to remove all germs and toxins that can lead to build issues in our hearts. What are the diseases that are related to this organ that we are talking about? There are many, but I was able to pick some. We have coronary heart disease. When we talk of coronary, those are arteries that feed the heart. These coronary arteries, they are the main arteries for that organ. Some bring blood to the heart, and some remove blood from the heart. If these arteries are affected, the person cannot live. The person will have a heart attack because if the artery is blocked and the blood cannot flow, it means that oxygen will not pass beyond that point. And that will bring a serious heart problem. We have arrhythmias, we have heart failure, which I've already talked about, water lodging at the right side of the heart, which impairs circulation. We have heart valve disease. You saw back here, if I can show you the valves. You saw here the valves. From the atrium, there is a valve that leads to the ventricle. There is a valve here also that leads to the lungs. There's another valve here that leads from the left atrium to the left ventricle. And there is a bigger valve here that leads blood from the heart to the rest of the body through the aorta. All these valves are maintained for as long as you live. If by any chance, through the risk factors that I've mentioned, and through the caring of our hearts that I've mentioned, if by any chance we impair the normal function, the organs, the sections that are damaged first are the valves. So we must take care of the heart as an organ by our behavior and our practices, so that we do not impair the normal functioning. We also have pericardial disease, which affects the muscle itself. We also have cardiomyopathy, which is the muscle itself, the heart muscle, that a small fist, it can be sick by itself. And we have congenital heart disease. Congenital heart disease, it begins from an early age. So we can avoid all this if we choose. And finally, I want to talk about Neolife as a solution. And this solution, I want to encourage each one of us on the call to be the first one to practice, to use these natural products that have been researched for many years. And since I started using them 13 years ago, my blood pressure is perfectly normal, like a youth. And I can testify that many who have not practiced anything to maintain their health, at this age, they have so many complications, that one that leads to another, until you find somebody saying, my doctor has not said. I want us now to move our thoughts from the doctor taking care of our health to myself taking care of my health. And I'll see the doctor once a year or once every 6 months if I have conditions, to just check how I'm doing. So we need to have doctors as friends, not to go there when I cannot walk, when I cannot breathe, and his focus is to save my life. So we have a perfect product, which is a whole food nutrition called ProVitality. It has 4 basic items or basic foods. That is the grain concentrate from treonine, the carotenoid, which protects our cells. The heart plus all other organs of the body has cells. and those cells must be protected. And carotenoid is very crucial in the protection to optimize your immunity so that the body is able to fight its own fights. We also have a balanced oil from salmon fish called omega-3 salmon oil plus, which regulates our cells and maximizes our good health. If you want somebody who has even gotten a stroke to avoid the second one, because the second ones usually are fatal, you can help them to use this product and more so omega-3.
Grace, your network is getting lost.
To remove the buildup black juice, so have marks in this product, essential minerals and vitamins. Hello? Hi, Anne.
We were losing you, but continue now, we are okay.
Oh, okay, thank you. So our basic for those who are healthy and who have any challenge with the heart, embrace Pro Vitality. We have a very important item called CoQ10. It's an enzyme for a strong heart and overall energy and stamina, brain health, and healthy vision and hearing. In other words, for a balanced person, you need the support of the CoQ10, coenzyme 10, that is very, very essential. Most people who have heart issues, usually the heart beats at 50 or 45, and that means that it cannot take all the blood circulation to all parts of the body, and that gives birth to diabetes. And you can see when diabetes has fully grown, you can lose your eyesight, you can lose your fingers, you can lose your toes, you can lose your kidney. I don't want to say more. Another product that we can use to help us is lipotropic adjunct. It supports your heart health, and it can also help prevent cholesterol from building into plaques that we have already talked about. It helps to maintain the homocysteine levels, because when homocysteine levels are higher, you are likely to get a stroke. It also supports the blood vessels in the movement, in their work that they do, in moving the blood around the body throughout life also. And it resists unwanted fat to build up in the liver. And you know that when we have excess buildup of fat in the liver, we'll get cancer and all that. So this product, lipotropic, is very, very essential. We cannot say more, but add you another product called garlic allium complex. If you forget everything else, remember that garlic should be used on a daily basis because it's a natural antibiotic. It fights infections. It strengthens the heart muscle itself. It stimulates the immune function, and it is naturally available everywhere. Garlic allium complex from Neolife with allicin is very crucial. We cannot forget vitamin E, which improves circulation. Why do people get sick? It begins with circulation. It's the reason we must take care of our health. In a nutshell, There are many more products, but for heart health, these are the basic products: CoQ10, Provitality, Lipotropic, garlic, and vitamin E. And I want to encourage each one on the call, because we each have this organ, to organize your budget and see that at least you are embracing this basic product that we have mentioned here, because we want to live healthy and long and vibrant throughout life. So as we scale the heights of success, we need that health more than any other thing. Finally, I want to say that if you have a friend, if you have a child, if you have a spouse, if you have a parent, if you have a neighbor, share this information and help them to take care of their health. I want to thank you for listening, and back to you, Anne.